a Ferrari, a Jaguar, switching 4 lanes with the top down, screaming out, money ain't a thing.
Bubble hard in the double law, flashing the rings with the window crack. Holla back, money ain't a thing.
Jigga, I don't like it if it don't gleam, gleam. In the hell with the price, but the money ain't a thing.
Put it down hard for my dogs that's locked in the bang. When you hit the bricks, new whips, money ain't a thing. Come on.
Yeah, I wanna floss with us. Come on. All across the board, we burn it up. Drop a little paper, baby, toss it up. Slacking on your pimpin', turn it up. See the money ain't a thing.
Flex the road, sign a check for your jigga style is love. X and O. Save all your accolades, just the dough. My game is wide, all names aside. Trying to stay alive. 100 down for the bracelet. Foolish ain't I, the chain to strain your eye. Twin platinum, son, aim for the sky. Ice on my as soon as I pull it. Willies wanna rub shoulders. Your money's too young. See me when it gets older. Your bank account grow up. Mine's is 1000 old up. Damn near out the rear trunk when I roll up. Moti till I close up. It's all basic. I've been spending hundreds since they had small faces. Rob your stash out, doubled out down in Vegas. Me and JD got it locked crazy. Where you at, haters?
Jaguar, switching 4 lanes with the top down, screaming out, money ain't a thing.
Bubble hard in the double law, flashing the rings with the window crack. Holla back, money ain't a thing.
Jigga, I don't like it if it don't gleam, gleam. In the hell with the price, but the money ain't a thing.
Put it down hard for my dogs that's locked in the bing. When you hit the bricks, new whip, money ain't a thing. Y'all wanna floss with us? Cause all across the board we burning up. Drop a little paper, baby, toss it up. You slacking on your pimpin', turn it up. See the money ain't a thing.
Welcome to Wealth Building Wednesdays, where we center Black, women, and BIPOC-owned businesses, highlight opportunities and initiatives for underrepresented entrepreneurs, and center socially innovative enterprises, building generational prosperity, fostering real networking, and recycling Black dollars. It's Wealth Building Wednesdays on KBLA Talk 1580.
Indeed it is, and what an honor and a joy to keep it going, keep it West Coast right now with an iconic business that you already know about, but you may not know about this particular initiative that they're doing. We're being joined right now by Chef John Cleveland, who's the head chef and co-owner of Post and Beam Restaurant. And he took over the reins of that restaurant some time ago and is working hard along with his wife to establish it as a culinary institution. Chef John Cleveland, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. Happy to be here.
Yes, happy to have you in. We're also joined, this is a pleasure, to meet Chef Martin Draluck, who's the founder of the Black Pot Supper Club, which is an intimate outdoor dinner series. Oh, I've been wanting to go. I'm going to be there soon. Celebrating historic African-American cuisine. Every dinner is very exclusive, limited to 18 seats, and it goes from 6 to 9 p.m. Welcome, Chef Martin Draluck.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you having me this morning.
Yeah, so let's start off talking about what's going on with Post and Beam. A lot of people are like, wait, what? Change, evolution? Is it closed? Is it going away? I know the pandemic has been a whole challenge for a lot of restaurants. I personally think Ozempic is a big challenge for a lot of restaurants. But what's happening with Post and Beam now?
Well, Post and Beam is evolving. We have been open since 2012, 2011. And, where we're at is that corner of the mall. We're preparing for all the redevelopment plans that are going to be happening. So our business hours has changed for the time being. We're still open for brunch, but we're hosting and catering for private events outside of our regular brunch hours. So we're still available. We're still around. So we're actively, discussing and working with designers and architects on another space with the mall to transition into when the development starts. But we're not going anywhere.
Okay, so this is not the beginning of the end for Post and Beam. You can imagine the rumors going around right now. It's sounds like it's you being flexible to be able to maintain your presence while the mall goes through whatever changes are happening, but still keeping the brunches going and still keeping the catering going, and of course the supper, the black pot suppers going.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're not going to stop cooking at any time soon, but we do have to, be a little bit flexible. We're going to change and evolve with this new development. So we're, I think we've all been waiting pretty long to see what's going to happen with some of the developments around the
No
neighborhood, right?
kidding. And things just, things just closing, and then I hear, okay, well, they're taking it over. Okay, well, hurry up and take it over, because right now it's just a whole bunch of nothing. Chef Martin Draluck, explain the concept of the Black Pot Supper Club. Why is it a black pot? And why is it a supper club?
The concept behind the supper club is really it's my attempt to be able to highlight some of the untold stories of Black American culinary history and chefs who influence how we eat today. The black pot we're referring to is that of a cast iron pot, I think familiar in most cultures, and a great item that gets passed along as an heirloom. But along with the heirloom status, we get to pass along stories about these men and women who influence how we eat today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's that series, High on the Hog, I think it is, on Netflix, which really, brought a lot of attention, I think, to the influence of Black chefs and African American, some enslaved chefs on what we think of as American cuisine. Do you look at this Black Pot Supper Club as in that tradition?
Definitely. I mean, I was fortunate enough to be included in the first season of High on the Hog because of what we were doing, and so I really loved the idea of being able to pass along these stories and extend our history to groups of people who've never heard it before.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, that whole series, and not just that. There's been a couple of cookbooks that have come out lately, and these kinds of things like your Black Pot Supper Club that have, I think, kind of forced us to redefine, or at least give credit where credit is due, to what we consider to be American cuisine. Chef Cleveland, how does Post and Beam reflect that?
Well, I think, we are always trying to work with top talent like Chef Martin. A lot of our cuisine really has a lot to do with more family ties than anything. We incorporate a lot of my family traditional recipes within the Southern traditions.
I mean, you call it California comfort food, which I think is hilarious.
Well, you can't really do some of the same things that you would normally, traditionally get when you get some of our comfort food in the South. So we
Right.
put a little California twist on it.
Right, but it's still tied to that ancestral tradition, right?
100%.
Yeah. So talk to me about, how it is. You're a business owner, you're a business person. This is Wealth Building Wednesday. How it is for you right now in this environment. I mean, from what I'm reading, it feels almost like restaurants are an endangered species in general. And, when America gets a cold, we got pneumonia. So I imagine for Black restaurants, that's even a greater challenge.
It is very challenging. Just being a business owner in general in Los Angeles, being a business owner for a restaurant is just challenging. It gets more expensive every year. You have to continue to recreate yourself. We've been very fortunate. We got, I believe, some of the best customers in the city. And you guys support us so well. So we're able to get all these opportunities. Right now we're doing a residency downtown at the Music Center that runs all the way through June. And you can catch our dinner there if you want to get dinner and experience some version of Post and Beam. But, we're in high high demand all the time because of having such great support.
That I love that. And you know what? I also love you know, Post and Beam was originally owned by Brad and Linda Johnson, right? Um, and it was always
Yeah.
black owned. And a lot of folks thought that it was not going to keep being black owned when they left, but they passed it on to you, and you know, and another chef owning it with with your wife. I think that's pretty cool.
Absolutely. I think it's a dream come true for us. Happy that we were able to make it happen. It was a big part of what Brad and Govan really wanted to do. They really cared so much about the neighborhood and Post and Beam and what it meant there that they didn't want anybody to just step in and take the reins. So I was very happy that they felt confident to pass it to me.
Chef Martin, walk me through my Black Pot Supper Club experience. You guys have one coming up, I think, next week, right?
Correct. We've moved into like an abbreviated version. Our original dinners were 8 courses at $250 with wine pairings. We still do those, but we've moved into an abbreviated version with 4 courses for $95. And basically we're cooking food inspired again by our earliest Black chefs and influencers. We'll have 4 courses. With every course, obviously I'll explain the dish, but we will cover the life of one of these men or women and talk about just different ones throughout the evening. It's a great night. We have wine pairings from a woman named Jasmine Ladisor, who's the owner of the Nowhere Wine Lounge, and she focuses on Black and BIPOC wines. So ever since I started working with her, she's really elevated our full experience. So it's a great time.
So I think the next one is next week. That one's the abbreviated one, the 4 course as opposed to the 8 course. But
Correct.
it sounds like they vary. I see that you've got blackpotsupperclub.com. If folks, I'm sure you have a schedule there if folks want to see. Is next week sold out already?
No, not yet. We have actually dinners on the 11th, 18th, and 19th of this month.
Okay.
So yeah, you can check it out at blackpotsupperclub.com.
It's a good month for Black Pot Supper Club. It looks
Definitely.
I got to get off this website. It's making me hungry. Can you give me, Chef Martin, can you give me an example of of a dish, and we're in this Mercury retrograde historical kind of vibe this morning. Can you give me an example of a dish that you're particularly proud of or moved by that has those kinds of historical traditions behind it?
Definitely. I mean, I think for our last dinner for Women's History Month, we were doing a shrimp and grits dish where obviously everybody's familiar with shrimp and grits. We changed it up and did some kind of like shrimp cakes, almost like a crab cake. And it was inspired by the chefs of Charleston, Black caterers of Charleston, who we're going to be focusing on this month, actually. And their incredible stories of overcoming slavery and becoming like the top chefs of the time in the city of Charleston and influencing generations of cooks there.
I mean, when I saw, there's so much, I guess I love food. I'm a foodie, but I didn't know the history. And when parts of the parts of High on the Hog that I saw where they're talking about these chefs who were like, you had presidents fighting over enslaved Black people because we could cook. I didn't know all that. Right. I didn't know we invented mac and cheese. Like, I didn't know all this stuff. As American as, Black American is apparently what we should have been saying about many of these dishes. It's really a joy to talk with you. John Cleveland, what do you want folks to know? How can we support you? What should we know about Post and Beam and the work that you are doing other than brunch?
Absolutely, keep coming in for brunch, but we're here for any of your private events, catering needs. We still want to serve the community. We've done a lot of different events and parties for a lot of community organizations, so we just want you to keep scheduling those with us. Visit the Abernathy's downtown at the Music Center. I have a menu that's there until June. It's excellent. You can catch a show as well. But just keep following us, log into our listserv, and come to a Black Pot Supper Club.
BlackPotSupperClub.com. Post and Beam, is it postandbeam.com?
Postandbeamla.com.
Postandbeamla.com. Well, John Cleveland and Martin Draluck, thank you guys so much for joining us this morning. I'm feeling really, really hungry, but also very inspired.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, indeed. It's time to call me, 800-920-1580. We have got a lot to talk about it. We are KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Always night pads are designed for a perfect night's sleep, so you can do your bear hugging a pillow thing, your free falling starfish thing, your burrito in a blanket with the AC blasting thing, while Always night pads with rapid dry technology do their. We've got your back with fast absorbency and up to 10 hours of protection thing. So while your period's doing its own thing, Always lets you do your sleep freely with a heavy flow thing. Find Always pads at your local Target store or online.
The Supplemental Security Income Program provides monthly payments to help meet basic needs, like putting food on the table, paying the rent, or buying new shoes for growing feet. You may qualify if your income and financial resources are low, and you are 65 or older, or an adult or child with a disability, or who is blind. Call 1-800-772-1213 or go to ssa.gov/SSI to start to apply. Produced by Social Security at U.S. taxpayer expense.
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma. I'm at risk too.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
It does indeed, and we are opening up the phone lines right now for you, 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. That's the number to call if you got something you would like to talk about. And there's a lot to unpack here, locally, nationally, and internationally. Of course, we always continue to have our conversations about reparations. We will be giving you updates on the updates. We do Fridays around here, and we'll be speaking this week with Sabir Bey. The Freedman Fridays happens the second hour of the show every Friday. Typically, we give folks time to unpack that and respond to it afterwards. This week will be no exception. Right now, though, phone lines are open, 800-920-1580. We can touch upon whatever is of importance to you. And we're going to go right to Big Phil calling us from L.A. Good morning, Big Phil.
Good morning, good morning. Devil don't sleep. Keep waking up. He's busy. let me say one thing to you. I don't know. You know they got 3 black powerful brothers in Milwaukee. One is the governor, one is the mayor, and one's the chief of police. Amazing. The brother's very highly intelligent. Now, he was on Face the Nation last week, the mayor young kid, very intelligent. All kind of racist statements thrown at him, say he's not qualified, all this old mess. You know, brothers, keep doing what you're doing. And I didn't know they had brothers like that. That's a rarity. A governor, the mayor, the chief of police in Baltimore. Boy, they got it going on down there. They got it going on down there. And
In
right
Maryland?
on, brother.
Well, yeah. I mean, Maryland is, majority black. So it's, a whole different ball game over there. No matter what folks try to label us as DEI or whatever they're, didn't earn it. I guess it's the new N word. I don't know how many new N words do they need. They've got DEI, they've got woke, they've got CRT. All
There you go. There you go. But we coming. We are coming. They can't stop us. They can't stop us now. We on the move. But take care, Dominique. I love you guys. Stay safe and please be careful. This is a way out world. You see the black girl cracking out windows the other day. Hope she go get some help. Cracking cars, busting cars with a brick.
I did not see that. Was it online? Yeah, I did not see that.
Yeah, you just started yesterday. I hope she gets some help. Somebody hurt her. I mean, she's just busting windows left and right, like lost it.
Well, you know what? I'm glad you put it in that context because so many times when we see crazy stories, and there are lots of them, it's we say, oh, we're going to hell in a handbasket or people today, and we forget about mental health being, being a factor. The media is quick to label it mental health when it's not black people. But when it's black people, we are just going to say, black people today are terrible. Back in the day, we would never have acted like this. You would if you had a mental health disorder. You would, yeah.
Absolutely, I got the passion like my mother always did. Well, you take care. I love you guys down there. Be careful, okay? I'm out, Big Phil.
Indeed, we love you as well. And whenever I see these giant earthquakes, I think about us in Cali, where we're broadcasting from, because it's just always a reminder. I guess because I've been in a few big ones. I was in the Northridge one and the Bay Area one, and I know how devastating they can be. I always say, well, building codes in other countries are not as good as they are here, so probably we wouldn't see as much damage. But it's a reminder. A huge earthquake in Taiwan on yesterday. Dozens of people are trapped in tunnels. It was the strongest earthquake there in 25 years. 9 people dead so far, more than 900 injured. It's a 7.4 magnitude, which is pretty big, pretty darn big. And then people are trapped in these tunnels that collapse. And it's pretty scary. For me, it's a reminder, earthquake kit. Do you have your, couple weeks of water, at least a week of water? Do you have 3 days to a week of canned foods and dry goods that you can eat and live on? Do you have flashlights with batteries? A radio is a good thing. A transistor radio, right? Little portable battery charging packs for your phone. All that stuff. Once it strikes, I've been in so many. I remember with the Northridge quake, I had my radio because I work in radio, but actually I wasn't in radio yet then. But for some reason, I had a radio, and my whole apartment building was listening to my one radio to get updates on what's happening. So an old-fashioned, AM radio with the batteries is a great thing to have. And thick gloves, in case you have to move debris. Boots. Yeah, you can tell I'm a California earthquake kid. I'm going to have boots and thick gloves somewhere on my, nightstand or somewhere in the immediate vicinity, because I know what it's like to get out of bed with shattered glass everywhere and all of that. Not to be scary, but that's part of what we have to do as Californians. So the Trump trials, literal trials and tribulations continue. The federal prosecutors are arguing in court yesterday. And it always scares me when they're there talking to Eileen Cannon, who is a judge, a very inexperienced judge who was appointed by the former president. And they were trying to get her to dismiss these arguments that Trump's lawyers are making, saying that he is immune to prosecution in this case because of the Presidential Records Act. He's authorized to classify any document that, in other words, his claim that if I say it's unclassified, it's unclassified. I don't have to go through any formal procedure. Jack Smith and the counsel in that case are trying to speed things up because Trump has done such a good job between the Supreme Court and, his cronies on the courts in slow walking these cases. And last month, the judge ordered jury instructions around these arguments for the Presidential Records Act, saying he can declassify anything that he wants to. And they were in court on yesterday, arguing about that. Update you on what happened and more when we come forward after news, traffic, and sports on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is an intervention. When we come forward, includes you. KBLA Talk 1580, turning pain into power.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Voters hit the polls yesterday for another round of presidential primaries. This time they made their choices known in Wisconsin, Connecticut, New York, and Rhode Island. President Biden and former President Trump easily won in each state, although it was largely symbolic at this point in the run-up to the election. Two Chicago, Illinois brothers wrongfully convicted of murder are receiving official certificates of innocence. Reginald Henderson and Sean Tyler say that they were coerced into making false confessions by police officers linked to disgraced former CPD commander John Burge in 1994. A judge this week officially granted the certificates, which expunges the murder convictions, meaning the brothers will no longer be labeled as felons. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you could save money. Good to know. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers continue to look like a team tuning up for the playoffs. They won by 17 at Toronto Tuesday night. The Lakers are 7-1 in their last 8 games and are 10 games over 500 for the first time since May 12, 2021 in the COVID season. D'Angelo Russell led the Lakers with 25 points. LeBron had 23 and 9 assists. The Lakers are at Washington tonight. The Clippers lost at Sacramento by 14. Kawhi Leonard did not play. He's got soreness in his right knee. Russell Westbrook led the Clippers with 20 off the bench. The Angels and Dodgers got a win yesterday. The Angels won in Miami. The Dodgers beat the Giants at home. Monday night's Iowa-LSU showdown was the highest-rated telecast in the history of NCAA women's basketball, regular season or postseason. The game drew an average audience of 12.3 million viewers on ESPN. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
Hey LA, be an eco-friendly hero. Join LADWP's Power Savers program and use your smart thermostat to help ease strain on the electric grid during peak electric demand. You'll save electricity while you lower your bill. Plus, as a power saver, you can get up to $185 in prepaid gift cards. Don't have a smart thermostat? No problem. Shop and sign up at ladwp.com/Power Savers program. That's ladwp.com/Power Savers program. To help combat climate change, LADWP is helping neighborhoods have better access to electric vehicles by awarding nearly $130 million in EV rebates to customers just like you. From big savings on used EVs to building new charging plazas, LADWP is charging ahead to help all Angelinos experience the benefits of EVs. Get rebates of up to $4,000 for a used EV and $1,750 for a charger. Learn more at ladwp.com/EV. That's ladwp.com/EV.
JP Morgan Chase is building on the investments in California to help close the racial wealth gap and build a more equitable future. Visit jpmorganchase.com/racial equity and get the tools to help reach your financial goals.
I feel occasional burning and stabbing in my hands as I age.
I sometimes feel numbness and tingling in my feet as I get older.
It's starting to get in the way of doing what I love.
At Nervive, we hear you, and we can help. Nervive's clinically studied dose of alpha-lipoic acid reduces occasional nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days with continued daily use.
Now that I know, I'm taking control.
Try Nervive Nerve Relief and say yes to healthy nerves. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Heard any other talk radio lately that sounds anything like this? We didn't think so. You're listening to Unapologetically Progressive, KBLA Talk 1580.
And the phone lines are wide open, 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. For all of you guys that like to complain about how you don't have enough time to call, you do today, for sure, 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. So apparently this judge, Judge Cannon, who was appointed by Trump and been on the bench since 2020, really a rookie, ordered both sides in this documents case to come up with jury instructions, even though the trial is, potentially months away, and there's a bunch of other decisions that were meant to be made first. So the special prosecutor, Jack Smith, slammed her in his response when they turned it in, the government's response, saying, this is, you're asking for jury instructions based on legal theories that are not even valid. So I don't know, if this is purely a stalling technique or if this is just like a dumb judge, who appointed by a as he would say, low IQ individual, who is just making rookie mistakes. It seems more likely that it would be like, I'm going to make you write jury instructions around these unproven legal theories to legitimize them and help Trump in his case. Meanwhile, Democrats in Virginia are pushing back on this plan that Republicans have put forth to rename the Washington, D.C. Dulles Airport after Trump and make it Trump Airport. One Congressman Jerry Connolly out of Virginia, said on yesterday that Donald Trump is facing 91 felony charges. Why should we name an airport after him? His Dulles Airport is in his district. He says If Republicans want to name something after him, I suggest they find a federal prison, which I thought was a pretty good clap back. But we shall see. I mean, it's named after a former Secretary of State already, but they are talking about renaming it after Trump. And seeing as how that might be one of the few things that Republicans could agree on and pass out of the House of Representatives, but it would never make it through the Senate. Let's go to Deb from Compton, at least not yet. At least they take over the Senate in 2024. Hi, Deb.
Hey, good morning, Dominique. Blessings to you and
Thank
the
you.
KBL family, Miles and Tavis. Just a couple of quick things. Want to give props to Marvin Gaye. Yesterday was our birthday.
Oh,
And,
happy birthday.
Thank you. Dominique.
Yes.
Sahara Ali. She, as I like to say, she blew my wig back. Ooh, her insight, her spiritual connection and guidance, and she read me like a book. Anyone
She will do that.
She is phenomenal. She is phenomenal. And it was such a sense of renewal, but also a sense of confirmation for so many things that are going on. Me being this Aries with this eclipse and everything. I mean, it's just, it's just my time of year. And I'm going to have a sound bath healing on Sunday, and I'm so looking forward to it. But just thank you for, introducing so many of us to her. She's amazing.
Yeah. I love me some Sahara. I'm glad you're doing the sound healing. I need to go. Maybe I'll see you there because it really does help. It doesn't seem like it would, but it absolutely is just renewing and invigorating. And I find that people tell me my eyes are sparkling. They think I got a new man when I come from sound healing. They think I got a new love in my life. And I don't, but yeah, that should be one. That should be, that's right. And that should be wonderful and healing and renewing. And I don't know, Sahara's going to come on next Wednesday and do readings. We said we were going to do it for the new year, but we just never found the right moment. And the right moment is going to be next Wednesday. So if you're, if you're a person who we do, when we do them on the air, she does like a mini reading. It's a minute or two, just a quick snapshot. What you did was much more in depth.
Yes. And, I paid for the 30 minutes, but because it was my birthday, and I guess because she had some extra time, she went over with me. And I guess she could sense I was looking at the clock, and she said, "You don't have to worry about the time. It's your birthday." And I want it to be even more special. And it really was. She's just amazing.
Oh, well, I'm glad you had a good experience. I always tell this story, but she's been, helping me with astrology and sound healing and yoga and, readings since I was on the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Mm-hmm.
And
exactly. I remember that.
Yeah, I think the first time she did my reading was right when I got that job. So we're talking 2000. That was 2000.
Right.
That was wow, time flies.
Yes. Well, and just a quick thing. So they want to name the Dulles Airport after Trump. Why not? We know that they have been naming monuments, erecting statues, and all kinds of things to some of the worst people on the planet for years. So why not?
I guess so.
Why
I thought we were reversing that trend, Deb. I thought we were taking down the Confederates. Now you want to name a whole airport after one?
Yes. After a convicted, he is a convicted molester or rapist. The judge said.
I mean, in civil court, yeah, for sure. And the other thing about it is, why? We're in the middle of an election. That is definitely would be a gift to him in terms of a campaign boost, right? Seems like that should be illegal.
You would think, but the fact that he could assign his daughter-in-law to run the RNC so that make sure that the donations go to pay for his legal.
Yeah.
It's all over the place.
It's very tacky. I mean, tacky is just the best word I can think of for most of the stuff he does. But it's dangerous tacky, not just ugly tacky. The thing I liked about the appointment of Laura Bush, I don't know that much about her, but if she is anywhere near as competent as Eric or, Laura Trump, excuse me. If she's anywhere near as competent as his actual biological children, she'll, turn the RNC into a real train wreck, and that could help Dems in 2024. So that's the upside of that.
That is true. And that's what we all need to hope and pray for.
Yeah, maybe his nepotism will be an advantage for Dems in a way that we are not foreseeing.
Exactly. Well, other than that, we're all just in a holding pattern.
Yeah.
Just kind of waiting to see what's going to happen. And if our mayor is listening, I take the streets to work from Compton to downtown. Kudos to Mayor Bass. She's doing an awesome job. I see the cleanup on Washington and all the streets down Washington leading up from like Alameda to Grand. And she's making a difference. People may not believe it, but really start to pay attention. She is making a difference.
Well, Deb, thank you for that. I hope you had a great, great birthday. And I know you don't want to share the insights on your private life, but I'm glad you got them, and happy Aries season.
Thank you, Dominique, and I'll talk to you soon. You be safe.
Absolutely. You as well. Deb called me at 800-920-1580. You can do the same, 800-920-1580. This is the spot. We're elevating Black and progressive voices all the time. KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well-trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month. If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your Senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
The Supplemental Security Income Program provides monthly payments to help meet basic needs, like putting food on the table, paying the rent, or buying new shoes for growing feet. You may qualify if your income and financial resources are low, and you are 65 or older, or an adult or child with a disability, or who is blind. Call 1-800-772-1213 or go to ssa.gov/SSI to start to apply. Produced by Social Security at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Imagine with me here for a minute the most beautiful panoramic setting. Maybe it's an endless ocean, waves crashing on a beach, or a crystal clear mountain lake, peaceful and quiet. Or maybe it's just little kids playing in the park down the street. Wherever your imagination takes you, now imagine right smack in the middle of this perfect picture, a piece of litter. Just one piece right there in the middle of it all. Doesn't exactly fit, does it? In fact, even though it's just one piece, now it's all you can see. That one piece ruins everything. And that's the thing about litter. It doesn't take much to ruin everything. One thing's for sure, it simply does not belong anywhere in California. So here's the good news. If we work together, we will change it. We don't have to let litter, even just one piece, ruin your perfect picture. Not anymore, not ever again. Clean California, zero litter is the goal. Brought to you by Caltrans and CleanCA.com.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
Back to me, back to you, 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. Not here for that. Not here for Trump Airport. As far as I'm concerned, he is a Confederate, and we shouldn't be having any more statues to Confederates. Period, full stop. Speaking of Confederates, there's a funny meme. I posted it on my Instagram. By the way, you can follow us, KBLA 1580, on all social platforms. You can find me at DiPrima Radio, DIPRIMA. Please like and follow and subscribe. There's a funny meme. It has a picture of Gabrielle Union. It says Gabrielle Union. And then it has a picture of Candace Owens, and it says Gabrielle Confederate. And I really like that because I feel like somehow she's being allowed to reinvent herself as just a snappy intellectual. And I got slammed. There's I can't remember the name of the site. I'll find it later. On Instagram, I put a comment there they're debating Candace Owens, and someone said she makes perfectly good sense. And my comment was, she makes perfectly good sense if you are a practitioner of the philosophy of white supremacy. And this guy says, goes off on me, talking about, while you're so busy talking about white supremacy, we're going to be replaced by immigrants. There's two things about that. Number one, I am one of the people that is mad at the Breakfast Club for platforming Candace Owens. She does not make perfectly good sense. Why is she coming back to black people? Well, Ben Shapiro fired her. Ben Shapiro is an anti-justice, highly conservative, toxic white supremacist. And most ironic of all, he's a Jewish white supremacist, right? Ben Shapiro represents the worst of the worst when you talk about anti-blackness, anti-womanness, misogyny. And she worked for him at Daily Wire. He fired her because she was critical of Israel. A broken clock is right once a day, once a day, twice a day. Depends if it's a digital clock or an old-fashioned clock. The point is, when people like the Breakfast Club and people on some of these social media platforms give Candace Owens a space and allow her to run back to black like, so many other people have who so-called cross over, and they cross over by throwing black people and our culture under the bus, and then they want to come scrambling back. That is destructive and toxic and also ahistorical. This is the woman that said George Floyd was responsible for his own death, and he was a criminal who deserved to die. That Breonna Taylor was a drug dealer who should have been murdered by police. This is that girl. And you guys are saying, oh, she makes perfectly good sense. No, don't give her a platform. Don't let her. This is Miss White Lives Matter. Remember a little more recently, her and Kanye with the White Lives Matter shirts? And I'm not one of these people that's critical of Candace because she's married to a white man. I don't give a rat's behind who you marry, sleep with, or have booty calls with. I don't care. Love who you love. Am I ecstatic about the fact that tons of wealthy black men choose people other than black women? No. But love who you love. We don't choose who we love. My problem with it comes in when people choose based on status or, self-hate. If you're choosing because that's who you love, love on. Let there be love. Let there be love, like Nat King Cole said. I'm all for that. Fall in love, have a baby. You're going to have a black baby anyway because God's got jokes. But, that's another conversation for another day. And most of the time, people complain, about Patrick Mahomes. His kids are, very, 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 very light. If you looked at them, you might not know they were black. But guess what? His grandbaby's probably going to come out looking like Miles Davis because the DNA has memory and God's got jokes. But anyway, I digress. The point about Candace Owens, it's not who she's sleeping with. People want to call her a bed wench. Oh, let that go. Let that go, Umar. Let's talk about the policies. Let's talk about the anti-blackness. Let's talk about the fact that she is a Confederate, just like Trump is. Why are we platforming Confederates unless it's to disprove their points? Would I put her on this show? Yeah, maybe. I probably would. But I wouldn't sit back like Charlemagne and let her just say things unchecked. You gonna check, double check, and fact check Kamala Harris about whether she listened to Tupac. But you gonna let Candace Owens spew lies, untruths, and BS and just sit back with your hands up like, oh, she's an amusing intellectual queen? Nah, King. That's called not doing your job as a broadcaster. That's called letting the fox into the hen house. That is called a dereliction of duty, in my not so subtle opinion. 800-920-1580 is the perfect time to call me. We are unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Ray Richardson, your sports connection here at KBLA Talk 1580. Join me and my co-host Neil Scarborough every Saturday night at 7 for Out of Bounds, the show that brings some flavor to the world of sports for 60 minutes. We take you beyond the scores and press conferences. We give you our point of view, the way black folks see what's going down. You can join the conversation and give us your analysis at 1-800-920-1580. Out of Bounds every Saturday night at 7 on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
You like the style, though?
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate loses and love wins.
What? KBLA Talk 1580. We do have a lot to talk about, and we are on this, climate justice mission. Never forget, never forget, never forget. And so I just want to bring it up because this is April. It's Earth Day month. So expect a lot of conversation around that, a lot of information around that, and some campaigns around that. Someone was hitting me up on the DMs about, the situation in Watts with that Atlas, scrap metal plant right next to the projects there, the Jordan Downs, right next to the high school. And we are tracking that. Apparently, it has stalled out. And I'm trying to... we'll be talking about it Monday. We have a guest coming in Monday to talk about this, but I'm looking to see what we can do as change makers, as activists, to put pressure on while you're doing your investigation, while you're doing your prosecution, to shut that down, because every day our babies are breathing in shrapnel. I mean, it might be tiny shrapnel and lead and things that, can actually ruin their lives long term. And I just think, you got to keep talking about it, but we also have to look at what we can do. It is election season, so politicians oftentimes are more sensitive to what we are concerned about, what our concerns are, what our desires are. And I think that means it is a great time to put a little pressure on, a little quid pro quo. We have voted for you, and now we expect you to take action. Lord have mercy. Do you remember the story about this little boy in Mississippi who was put in jail for going to the bathroom? I don't think you can say it. Number 2, I can't say that on the radio, right, Miles? He was going to the bathroom. His mom was in court. He didn't have anywhere to go. He needed to go to the bathroom. He was 11. His name is Quantavious Eason. Well, they had pressed charges against him. He was arrested for public urination. An 11-year-old, okay? Anyway, a little tiny good news for you today. The judge there in Mississippi, Judge Rusty Harlow of Tate County Youth Court, did the right thing and dismissed the whole thing. There is no pending case against this child in youth court any further concerning urination. He said he dismissed the whole thing. He said he was a child. He was not a child that had a problem. He was a child that had a need. And that's an important distinction, right? He's not a child that was in need of supervision. He was a child that had to go to the bathroom. Thank you, Judge Rusty Harlow, for letting common sense prevail, even when the courts are dealing with a black child. His mama, LaTanya Eason, said she was very, very pleased and relieved at what happened with her baby. He, has already written a 2-page book report on Kobe Bryant and served 3 months of probation. I think that's quite enough punishment for going to the bathroom. Be joined by Jasmine Canick next hour. We're talking Lizzo and much more when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Voters hit the polls yesterday for another round of presidential primaries. This time they made their choices known in Wisconsin, Connecticut, New York, and Rhode Island. President Biden and former President Trump easily won in each state, although it was largely symbolic at this point in the run-up to the election. 2 Chicago, Illinois brothers wrongfully convicted of murder are receiving official certificates of innocence. Reginald Henderson and Sean Tyler say that they were coerced into making false confessions by police officers linked to disgraced former CPD commander John Burge in 1994. A judge this week officially granted the certificates, which expunges the murder convictions, meaning the brothers will no longer be labeled as felons. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you could save money. Good to know. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers continue to look like a team tuning up for the playoffs. They won by 17 at Toronto Tuesday night. The Lakers are 7-1 in their last 8 games and are 10 games over 500 for the first time since May 12, 2021 in the COVID season. D'Angelo Russell led the Lakers with 25 points. LeBron had 23 and 9 assists. The Lakers are at Washington tonight. The Clippers lost at Sacramento by 14. Kawhi Leonard did not play. He's got soreness in his right knee. Russell Westbrook led the Clippers with 20 off the bench. The Angels and Dodgers got a win yesterday. The Angels won in Miami. The Dodgers beat the Giants at home. Monday night's Iowa-LSU showdown was the highest-rated telecast in the history of NCAA women's basketball, regular season or postseason. The game drew an average audience of 12.3 million viewers on ESPN. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
We must understand the politics of our community, and we must know what politics is supposed to produce.
This election year, KBLA Talk 1580 is the place for politics, unapologetically progressive politics. And we've got 2 of the best and brightest to help you cut through all the noise. Weekdays at 1 p.m., it's A More Perfect Union with Dr. Nicolai Corte. And at 4 p.m., it's Areva Martin in Real Time. He's the university professor and distinguished member of the White House Correspondents Association. She's a best-selling author and Harvard-trained civil rights lawyer. And they are both here every day to help guide you through all the this year, because you know it's going to get deep. Get your politics on weekday afternoons at 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. with A More Perfect Union, hosted by Dr. Nicolai Corte and Areva Martin in Real Time, only on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.